Hello, I'm James Leporus, and welcome to the 100 Years of History channel. You are about to witness a story that was intentionally erased from public memory, buried deep beneath the official narratives we've all been taught. This isn't just about alternating current or a quirky inventor. This is the story of a genius who dared to dream of global abundance, of free, limitless energy for all humankind. And for that audacious vision, he was systematically crushed. This is the first of 10 episodes dedicated to the incredible saga of Nikola Tesla. Think of this as the definitive documentary you were never meant to see. Throughout this series, we will unpack the entire fight, piece by painful piece. We'll start with his legendary war of currents against Thomas Edison. A battle not just of technology, but of two completely different visions for the future. From there, we'll dive into the fateful pact he made with the titan of industry, J.P. Morgan, at Wardenclyffe Tower, deal that promised to change the world but ultimately sealed his doom. We will explore the heartbreak Tesla felt watching his genius, intended for peace and prosperity, get twisted and used for destruction in warfare. We'll investigate the chilling mystery of the FBI's missing files, documents seized from his hotel room the moment he died. What was in them that the government so desperately wanted to hide? And finally, we will reveal the true, devastating reason why a man who single-handedly designed the 20th century died, penniless, forgotten, and alone. I guarantee you this. Watching all 10 episodes of this series will completely change how you see modern history. You will understand the true, hidden story of Nikola Tesla, the man who saw the future and paid the ultimate price for it. This isn't just a history lesson. It's a rescue mission for a legacy that was stolen from all of us. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because you won't want to miss a single part of this incredible journey. Our story begins now.
Of January 7th, 1943, in room 3327 of the New Yorker Hotel, the man who wired the modern world was discovered by a maid, 2 days after he quietly passed away. No grand funeral, no state honors, just silence. He left this earth poor, a $70 weekly rent bill unpaid, surviving on milk and crackers. You are probably watching this on a device powered by his genius, sitting in a home illuminated by his revolutionary alternating current. Yet this titan of invention, Nikola Tesla, was forgotten by the very society he created. The stark contradiction, the sheer, breathtaking irony of his death should stop you cold, but it is not the most unnerving part of this tale. It is what happened next that whispers of a deep, foundational conspiracy. Within hours of the discovery, before the body was even formally taken, the United States government, specifically the Office of Alien Property, with the quiet presence of agents from the FBI, descended upon the hotel room. Imagine the scene. The door sealed, the silence broken only by the hurried footsteps of officials, sifting through the belongings of a man who was, after all, an American citizen. Why the rush? Why the secrecy? The official line, later delivered in hushed tones, was national security, citing fears that the brilliant inventor's latest, most controversial ideas, including whispers of a destructive Teleforce weapon, might fall into enemy hands during the heightened tension of World War II. But the truth, the dark, invisible hook that grabs the historian's throat, is that they weren't just looking for a ray gun. They were looking for the blueprints to a dream, the dream of giving away the greatest commodity on Earth for free. They took 80 steamer trunks, filled with papers, notes, and the fragmented memories of a life that stretched from the Gilded Age of electricity to the modern era of physics. These trunks were loaded into the darkness, and in their removal, a 40-year fight between a genius and the financial structure of the planet was violently concluded. The official narrative suggests that these documents were later evaluated by an MIT engineer who declared them to contain nothing of significant value to this country. But we have to ask, was this evaluation the truth, or was it the highest form of dismissal? A perfectly crafted lie designed to bury the idea of non-metered, non-monetized energy forever? Before we explore the specific, catastrophic failures that led Tesla to that lonely room, we must first understand the great war he fought. A war not of currents, but of ideologies. What hidden secrets do you believe were in those 80 trunks that the world's most powerful agencies needed to keep hidden? Place your thoughts here below in the comments and keep watching, because the story of Tesla is not about what he invented. It's about what was deliberately erased. To truly grasp why a man of such monumental intellect ended up destitute and alone, we need to rewind the clock. We need to go back to the dawn of the electrical age, a time of fierce competition and even fiercer ambition. This wasn't just a battle of inventors. It was a battle for the future of civilization. On one side stood Thomas Edison, the master of market-driven invention, a pragmatist who understood that profit was the ultimate measure of success. His system, direct current or DC, was simple, effective for short distances, and, most importantly, easily metered. You could charge for every single electron consumed. On the other side was Nikola Tesla, the visionary, the poet of physics. He saw a world unbound by wires, powered by a system that was efficient, elegant, and could travel vast distances. His alternating current, or AC, was a revolution. It promised to light up not just cities, but entire continents. The problem for the industrialists of the era was that Tesla's grandest vision went far beyond mere efficiency. He dreamt of a world wireless system, a global network that would not only transmit information, but also power, freely to anyone, anywhere on the planet. Imagine a world where electricity was as abundant and free as the air we breathe. This was Tesla's ultimate goal, and this, precisely, was his greatest threat to the established order. The clash between these two titans became known as the War of Currents. Edison, backed by powerful financiers like J.P. Morgan, launched a ruthless smear campaign against AC. He staged public electrocutions of animals, from dogs to an elephant named Topsy, all in a desperate attempt to portray Tesla's system as dangerously unsafe. He equated AC with death, even lobbying for its use in the newly invented electric chair, forever associating it with capital punishment. It was a brutal, ugly fight, but technology, in the end, triumphed over propaganda. The 1893 Chicago World's Fair, illuminated entirely by Tesla's AC system, was a dazzling spectacle that showcased the superiority of his technology. Westinghouse, Tesla's partner, had won the contract, and the world was forever changed. But winning the technological battle was not the same as winning the war. Tesla's victory came at a tremendous personal cost. In a moment of incredible generosity, or perhaps naivety, he tore up his royalty contract with Westinghouse. This single act, designed to save his partner from financial ruin, cost Tesla a fortune that would be worth billions today. He sacrificed his personal wealth for the advancement of his technology, a decision that would haunt him for the rest of his life. He believed that the progress of humanity was more important than personal gain. The bankers and industrialists he dealt with did not share this sentiment. His greatest and most ambitious project was Wardenclyffe Tower, a colossal structure rising from the plains of Long Island. This was to be the heart of his world wireless system. Financed initially by J.P. Morgan, Wardenclyffe was meant to be a transatlantic communications hub. But Tesla had a much bigger secret. The tower wasn't just for sending messages. It was designed to tap into the Earth's own resonant frequency, to broadcast electrical energy through the ground and the atmosphere itself. When J.P. Morgan finally understood the full scope of Tesla's plan, that he intended to give power away for free, he immediately pulled his funding. Morgan famously asked, "Where do we put the meter?" With no meter, there was no profit. And with no profit, there was no project. The abandonment of Wardenclyffe was the turning point. the beginning of Tesla's long, slow descent. He was a man out of time, a futurist operating in a world governed by profit margins. His mind continued to churn out brilliant ideas: radio, remote control, vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, robotics, and even early concepts for particle beam weapons. But without funding, without the support of the very system he sought to revolutionize, these ideas remained largely on paper, confined to the notebooks that would later be seized from his hotel room. He was ostracized by the scientific community he had helped build, labeled a mad scientist, a dreamer whose ideas were too grand, too impractical. The world moved on, building its future on the foundations he had laid, but conveniently forgetting the architect. The energy companies, the communication giants, the entire global economic structure were all built on the principle of metered, controlled resources. Tesla's vision of free, abundant energy was not just a technological challenge, it was an ideological threat to the entire system. It had to be suppressed. The official story is that his later ideas were fanciful, unworkable, but can we really believe that? Can we believe that the man who conceived of alternating current, who laid the groundwork for radio and remote control, suddenly lost his touch? Or is it more likely that his ideas were simply too dangerous to the status quo? The government's swift action after his death seems to support this. The seizure of his documents wasn't just a precaution. It was a final, posthumous act of silencing. They took his life's work, his final thoughts, and locked them away. The FBI files on Tesla, which were only partially declassified decades later under the Freedom of Information Act, are heavily redacted, filled with blacked-out pages and cryptic notes. They speak of vital importance and secret scientific papers. What was so vital that it remains a secret to this day? Perhaps they found nothing, as the official report claimed. Perhaps the old man, broken and impoverished, had indeed lost his way. But the story feels incomplete. It feels like a chapter torn from a book. The 80 trunks of papers, the secret government files, the strange circumstances of his death, they all point to a narrative far more complex than the simple tale of a forgotten inventor. They point to a deliberate erasure, a calculated effort to bury a future that could have been. A future where energy wasn't a commodity to be bought and sold, but a universal right. We are left with the haunting legacy of Nikola Tesla, a world powered by his genius, yet structured in direct opposition to his philosophy. Every time we pay an electric bill, we are participating in the system that rejected him. His story serves as a stark reminder that progress is not always a straight line. It is often a battleground where brilliant ideas can be defeated by powerful interests. The tragedy of Tesla isn't just that he died poor and alone. The tragedy is that we may have lost a future that was within our grasp, a future that was taken from his room in the New Yorker hotel and locked away in a government vault. The question that remains, echoing through the decades, is what else was locked away with it? Thank you for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the mysteries of history.